Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Leaders, analysts, thank you very much for coming today. I chose a topic here, digitalizing B2B2X for growth. It's quite something very new for many, because most of you perhaps have heard about B2B, B2C, all right? B2B2X is something that that telco is moving forward, how we can take advantage of digitalizations. Anyway, coming to here, Hong Leong Investment Bank, thank you very much. And Busa, just now I had a discussion with Dato. Hong Leong Investment Bank acquired Eon Bank Investment. Eon Bank Investment acquired MIMB. I started my job as a MIMB, as a merchant banker. We talk about merchant banker, a word that we have not heard for so many years. Right? Now today it's all about IB. Okay. I saw here, I have Astro My TV that reminds me the days when I started the first Malaysian digital in Malaysia. Those days who have heard Metrovision, that was, I was the one who developed it, and today Metrovision was acquired by TV8. That was actually the first digital TV in Malaysia, way back in early 90s, 93, 94. Yeah? So it's great to hear again all this word digital. Yeah? Today everything is about digital. We used to hear about e-business, e-commerce. Now today is the D, is the word. Okay. These are 4 areas I'm going to talk about. First, let me introduce what is TM1. Perhaps not many of analysts heard about TM1, and then I will move to where are the growth opportunity, capturing digital opportunity, and conclusion on that. Right. Number one, I would like to show to you. Actually, in TM, there are 3 key LOBS area, line of business, that goes to the market. First is a Unify. I'm sure all of you have heard about Unify. Second is TM Global, provide all the network on wholesale basis to all other telcos, Maxis, Time.com, Celcom. We provide that infrastructure. And TM1. TM1 is basically the enterprise and the public sector team in TM. So basically, what we do is that these are the key services that provide, from connectivity to cloud to BPO, managed security services, and smart services. You will see that TM1 is not just providing connectivity. We've been providing ICT digital solution to the public sector and also enterprise for the last 20, 30 years. We've been doing that. But many of us heard TM1, is a merger of different divisions and subsidiaries in TM. They used to do and focus on their respective market. Today we have seen that this market cannot be created just because you are enterprise, you don't integrate with the government. Actually, government, enterprise, all of us are into a same ecosystem. And that's the reason why we merge our enterprise arm, the government arm. These are the sales arm. GITN is a provider for the government network. VATS, if all of you may heard VATS, which is the ICT arm. Then we had VATS Live. So we merged that into a single TM1 that served the public sector and also the enterprise market. Okay. In terms of contribution, TM1 contributes 35% of total revenue for TM Group. Okay, 35% of that. That is close more than 4 billion a year of our revenue. Okay, next, where is the growth area? If you look at the growth area, I think I had a conversation today with Maxis team and all telcos. I think the challenge for all telcos is that both mobile enterprise and fixed connectivity, there's not much of growth. It's almost flat. That's the reality. All of us know that this reality is flat. Where we find growth? You look at CAGR for the next 3 years, almost flat. Okay. We as a telco, we need to transform ourselves. With the economic changes, with digital economy coming in, what we see is that the future potential is basically in the ICT, BPO services, and IoT smart. You look at the CAGR, it's growing more than 10%. These are the opportunities for us. If we continue to fight in the connectivity, it's between I take Maxis market share, Celcom take TM's market share. It's just going to go around, merry-go-round, right? That's why in TM1 has been established so that we can focus beyond connectivity. Our mantra today is beyond connectivity. And our revenue portion coming from beyond connectivity is quite substantial. Okay, it's quite substantial. So this is area that we see the market opportunity, market opportunity that build a foundation for us to move into this digital business and take opportunity what the market are moving into digital business. Now, if you look at I'm sharing with you two studies. Connectivity is flat, competition is there, very, very competitive. Technology change, for example, you talk about 5G. The 5G, how you use 5G to reach to the last mile. You have the SD-WAN, IoT, cloud computing. These are all the technology that people are talking today. You cannot run away from this, right? Is the M1 in there? Yes. We already are positioning ourselves. In 5G, all this 5G, we already participated with MCMC on the use case. Okay, having a technology, having a platform, having a network, if it's nothing to run on top of it, to consume the network, there's not much of monetization to be made. So that's the reason why MCMC says, hey, let's do use case. Okay, we prove that this application can consume the bandwidth. SD-WAN, we already have customer in SD-WAN. Okay, some of the largest oil and gas companies is now using SD-WAN provided by TM. IoT already started that about 3 years ago when we started Westlife. Westlife started to push IoT in Malaysia 3 years ago. Cloud computing has already been there. I joined Telecom in 2001. At that point in time, we already offering data center. From data center into hosting, today is cloud. We have seen for the last 20 years, Telecom has been moving toward that. So today, looking at today's situations, looking at OTT, looking at the hyperscaler, we are working with them so that we can evolve and offer differentiated services. At the same time also, if you look at other digital study on telco and how telco take advantage of the current technology change, and telco also are reinventing itself. Number one, growth in core segment only through volume. To get a revenue is simple. Price times quantity. In the case of telco, price times size. The other variable that telcos will try to increase their revenue is through bandwidth. So we have three variables. Price, you either increase price or lower your price. You increase more premises, or you increase your bandwidth. The more bandwidth you consume, you try to raise the price. Okay? So that's what all telcos are trying to do. But again, if you saw just now, by the study, it's flat. Market is not growing. Right? Next, looking at the production models, in other words, how we serve our customer. We have to change the way the telco mindset. From a perspective of giving a phone, we are moving into ICT, we have to change the way we operate our model. And that has been, TM1 has been doing that changes for operating our model for the last few years. Managing diverse portfolio of assets with a fixed. Today, some telcos are moving into a light asset. Some telcos are heavy assets, some telcos are light assets. So it depends on the strategy so that we can improve our EBITDA or improve our EBIT. But I think most telcos are looking in the future, we are looking at B2B2X in gaining importance. It's gaining importance because you have to work. It's no longer connectivity, it's no longer the revenue growth. We have to find other market area, which is ICT, BPO, or smart services. This is where today is my topic. How the M1 is positioning ourselves so that we can take advantage of this new thing coming in, which is not something new for the M1 because we have been doing it for years. For example, you take a flight, okay? When you fly, before that plane can fly, it has to get permissions from the airport controller. And the system are provided by us. The radar actually is maintained by TM. Okay, so we've been doing that. If you have an emergency, you call 999. The MERS system is all provided, or is owned by MCMC, by the government, but operated, provided, services all done by the M1. So you see the ICT part actually is a natural part of what the M1 has been doing for the last few years. Okay, so let's focus on B2B2X. Why is it happening in this way? Because as company move into digitalizations, Those days we talk about e-business, right? People go to e-business, go to digitalizations. Why they are moving to that? First thought in their mind is about improving productivity, improving efficiency. From operation, business perspective, from company's perspective, improving their productivity. But then when I say, hey, if I do my productivity, just improving my efficiency, it's just another e-business. You try and just improve your backend. But digitalization allows you to reach not only your supply chain, improving your supply chain, but also improving your demand chain. You are now reaching to your end user, okay, so that you can communicate with them, right? So from supply chain going into a demand chain. So that's where companies are trying to differentiate themselves. How can I be different from other people? I'm sure today all banks try to differentiate it having e-banking, right? With the e-banking, you find that people are start moving to banks that have that online banking. The people start moving to that. This is where your demand side, okay? So everybody is trying to differentiate yourself. I'm sure Holland Bank is trying to differentiate itself in a very different. I know that because I'm working something with Holland Bank in their digital Holyong, doing something different. And when I look at it, when I discuss with them, I say, hey, this is something that not only a company can do it, but it needs to work together with partners. Digitalization is not about working alone, but working with partners. Okay, this is where TM1 has positioned itself as a partner. And we also partner with other people, with other partners, with other suppliers, with other vendors, or with other technology partners. Okay? So how we differentiate? Okay? For example, Dicon, they are providing smart air conditioner. From home, you can control your aircon. So by the time you reach home, it's already cold, right? Servitization, another word, you are not just selling, companies are not just selling, but after sales. For telco, after sales is very natural because we've been doing it for years. For TM1, we're providing managed services. Managed services cannot be delivered if we cannot provide that after sales. You call, the call center is always there. Telco was the first to have the call center. Last time, those my days, we don't have this today's digital. We used to call telephone the operator to connect, right? So telco started that business, that operations. So it's very natural for us. Managed services going to serve our customers nationwide is natural for us. So many of our customers come to us and say, hey, can we work together with TM1 and provide that services together? So it's not about I supply to you, then TM1 supply to our customer, and the customer decide, hey, I do it myself. Now there is a conversation between customers and TM1 talking about, hey, how can we take advantage of digital so that both of us can work together and improve my customer's customer. Okay? So those are the things that we are looking at. And our partners also looking at us, hey, you are not just selling connectivity, because all of us need to be connected. Can we bundle some of the ICT solutions that we provide it in different manners? So the game has changed from purely supplier into the whole value chain, from supply chain even to a demand chain. Okay? So that's what's happening now. Once they do that, they have to change their operating model. The customers, the business need to change their operating model. Okay? Now, okay, where the decision lies? Where the decision lies? If a company, let's say for example, a bank or EPF, you just want to buy and consume for yourself from telecom or from any IT company, it's just a B2B for you. It's a B2B transaction. Then you provide that services to your customer. It's a B2B or B2C. So that's where the B2B, B2C comes in, B2G, G2B, and so forth, right? So that's the bottom line. If you're looking telco purely just, providing you a connectivity, that's what will happen. But some companies are trying to manage the whole value chain, from supply chain to their demand chain. That's where sometimes they come to us and say, hey, I buy wholesale from you, all right? IT company is natural. They come to companies and say, I can provide you with IT solutions, but they stop there. They stop there. They said, I'm just a supplier. I supply to you. That's it. That's the end. But with digitalization, require you to move more than that. you need to capture the non-telco side also, the IT side. Let me show you some case study. Okay, this is what happening with Orange. Okay, working with the medical devices, LivaNova, Orange provided the connectivity and network operation. Then Orange bundled together, working together, Lenovo, and then provide that service to healthcare provider. So it's not about LivaNova giving it to the healthcare provider. It's now Orange together working and come up with a new services to the end customer. So normal telco will just earn their revenue from here, but today they are expanding their value there. Okay. Next, let's look how we're doing it. This is a real case which TM is providing. We work with Microsoft, we work with HP. Okay, we provide the connectivity. Normally we'll stop here. But what we have done is that we enable the communication services with our partners, with our partners together, and then we deliver it to our customer. And this has created a lot of business for us. We are just not looking connectivity, purely connectivity, going beyond that connectivity. Next, for education, we have done this also together, working together with our partners. Now, the beauty about this, we were providing this connectivity network, but then we work together with our partners, then we start delivering these services. E-education, digital education, and the best part is not just providing you the services, but at the end we enable, working together with the teachers, enable them to become a 21st century teachers. And they compete globally under Microsoft innovation platform, and they won. There are a few of them, and we produce, and then today they are sustained by themselves. But a lot of support is required. We have to support that nationwide. It's not about giving to the HQ, but also to the schools, the whole of Malaysia that we went and start doing that. It's a different way that we are doing it. Okay? So how we capture digital opportunity? TM as a group, we are moving from broadband champion to convergence champions. The last 2 years you heard about convergence. Today we are moving into digital Malaysia, digitalizing, whatever. We are not just looking at B2B, B2C, we are looking at B2B2X. The X can be anything. It can even be a machine. Okay? It can be anything. It's totally a new market that we are looking at. It's just not providing just purely ICT. I give you a provide ICT, thank you very much, I take your money. No, it's about engaging with our customer, extending their value chain, working together so that both parties can generate new revenue stream. Okay? This is how we position ourselves. Connectivity is there. All right? Whether private network, internet, or 5G is, hopefully we can, we can provide that. Or mobile, we're already providing mobile services. Okay? And then these are the core products that we provide. The data center, cloud services, managed security, enterprise network, business process, outsourcing, and IoT smart services. But what we are moving towards is that we want to be different from other telcos and helping our customer. We are start looking into the vertical digital solutions. You have a vertical solution for education, we have vertical solutions for our PBT, we have a vertical solutions for respective industry. But each of the vertical have, each of the industry have different needs. And then that's how in fact, we'll see that in the future, business model will change. What we said when one day perhaps pay-per-use basis, rather than just paying by bandwidth, because the services of the verticals are different. This is where TM1 is moving, so that we can transform ourselves, moving out from purely connectivity player. All right? This is what we have done in 5G. Okay? In Langkawi, first in the world, simultaneous 700 megahertz and 3.5 gigahertz on the standalone 5G network. On 5G network alone, we have done that. Okay? So we have done the 5G core, the 700 megahertz standalone. Okay? And these are the collaboration that we had. 5G infrastructure that telecom have done, not only for telecom, but also working to offering that to other telcos. It's a big investment. Okay, we have to work on it together. Okay? Sharing with you some of the use cases. We had 13 use cases. Basically, if you look into all these use cases, it's not purely just providing connectivity, but going towards B2B, B2X, B2B2X kind of services. Okay? So this makes what TM1 and at the end the TM group will be slightly different and differentiate ourselves from others. Okay, with that, as far as TM is concerned, we want to be digital Malaysia, from home to companies, to enterprise, even to the government. We are there. Okay, we are there to help the country so that we can realize digital economy become the new growth area for Malaysia. Okay, with that, thank you very much.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Good morning. My question would be, I would be interested to understand more on the digitalization in the area of oil and gas. What are some of the services that you will offer in the area of oil and gas?
They're trying to cut their costs. If possible, is to have what I call that reduce manpower in the platform, okay, in oil and gas platform. Or they call it unmanned platform. All right. We are working with the oil and gas industry. Number one, to provide that solution, so you require a good connectivity. So we are trying to solve that connectivity problem. Okay. At the platform, you require a good, I call it a last inch connection, your Wi-Fi, your LTE, and so forth. All right. So that whatever machine in the platform can churn the data, and the data can be transferred back to wherever is their data center, so that they can start churning and working on using AI or using big data analytics. We are on our side working with some of the largest oil and gas company, helping them on the data analytics. Okay. So those are areas that we are doing. But at the same time, if you look at oil and gas company, for example, whether upstream or downstream, okay, you will see that safety becomes very, very important. Very, very important. Where they are, tracking them, all that. So in that area specifically, we have developed, for example, smart helmet. You go into any of their production line, you have to wear a smart helmet. So in that smart helmet, can support both 4G or 5G or 3G or even Wi-Fi, so that we know where they are. It will also not only know where is the locations, but also that helmet be able to capture the heat, okay, the chemical around that area, so that give a feedback back to the operation center, the safeties of that area. Okay, so a lot more, whether you're upstream or downstream, I would love to talk to you one-to-one. Just on the topic of oil and gas, how 4G, 5G, I don't mind talking that, to have a split discussion with that. Okay?
Thank you very much for the very, very interesting presentation. I'm coming from the perspective of X, right? So you mentioned just now that X needs to change their operating models,
yes.
You know? And X also needs to be digitally ready, yes. You know. So maybe you can brief us really how ready X is at the moment to basically take advantage of all these things.
I think it depends whether you're an enterprise or you're SME. Okay, for enterprise, large enterprise, you know.
Let's say Bursa.
Okay, all right. I think looking at Bursa, you're already ahead of many people. Okay, for Bursa. But I think at the end, those days, Bursa was shout here and there, all right? Then the SMS came into the picture, all right? I still remember working together with End-to-End, remember, yeah? End-to-End, who first started with SMS, you know, tracking of your investment, you know? And today you have, it's a leapfrog. For all these people like us, we remember those SMS, 2G, 3G, you know, the pain that we went through, but that was the best. But for Bursa, at the end of the day, today with digitalization, you'll be able to offer your real-time price changes, okay? But I think the trick is at the end of the day, how you use technology to connect to investor, because investor every second, it makes a lot of difference. If they can't lock the price at a certain time, all right, or delay, then another word, they can't take advantage of the changes of the prices. okay, especially when the price either go up suddenly or goes down suddenly. With 5G and with good connectivity, the speed of transferring the data from one point to another point, instead we talk about second, it has to be talked about millisecond. And that's what 5G provides. You know, your time reduced. So every millisecond that you make that different of decision makes, whether you miss the boat, if you miss the boat, either you lose or you win. You gain from your investment. That's where 5G will help you.